everyone, and welcome to the Committed Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jody, and each week we're going to be diving in deep, covering all things that help you step up your game, master your mindset, and help you commit to creating the life you desire. So if you're ready for that, let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode on the Committed Lifestyle. Thank you guys so much for joining me again. And, I really think this episode has just some great timing on it now that the holiday season is just about here. Or it is here at the time that you're listening to this. So what comes with the holiday season? Well, for most of us, that's stress, overwhelm, tears, some stressful ones, and then also some happy ones. Great memories, money spent, probably some hangovers, and I'm sure there's some other things that come along with the holiday season. But the thing is how do we find balance, stay productive, get shit done, and also balance out living presently and really just enjoying the time when we are with people that we love. So this all, really stemmed for me from what my last week has looked like. I feel like I'm in the middle of like Christmas right now, trying to get it all done. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. When you have 592 things to do, you've got one body that's you to do it in and not a lot of time to do it. I think that's the majority of our lives on a daily basis, but that's usually how it always is during the holidays. So that's where my week has been this last week. I literally have 542 things to do. And that's just in my regular life, not including the things that are, that had just come up, which my mom, she's coming to town and I'm so excited. But what it really sprouted for me was that, hey, I moved into my place about a year ago and I never finished getting it set up. So it's like almost fully feels like a home, but it doesn't. There's still boxes I haven't unpacked and there's still decorations I never put up. So it's like halfway lived in, but not fully. And it really bothers me whenever someone comes into my house. I'm like, oh my God, my place is not done. So I'm like, okay, you know what? It's about time for me to get this shit done. I want to get it finished, decorated. I want it to feel like a home. I might as well just call it a home. And so I've been on this decorating mission for the last week that has taken up tons of my time. And then at the same time, my lease on my car is up. So I pushed that one under the rug a little bit too long and had to go get a new car. And then just all the, the daily to-dos that needed to get done, including, self-care and business. Oh yeah, business, that thing where you make money. All of that really, I was struggling with making time for it all. And I think a lot of us will do this. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about, was where you your to-do list gets so long that what you do is you work on your to-do list, the things that you want to do, the things that don't make you money because they're actually easier to do, but you end up spending money and usually wasting time and then doing things that don't really matter instead of the things that do matter. So again, all my entrepreneur ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Being your own boss it's a challenge. It's a reward, but it is also a challenge. And here's where I found myself is neglecting doing the income producing activities that I knew I needed to, that I said I would get to at the end of the day, but I didn't get to all of them. It caused me to feel unsatisfied and stressed out at the end of the night for quote unquote losing a day. And, I felt accomplished in the fact that I was getting this decorating done and finally getting my car stuff taken care of. Yes, that was an accomplishment. But, I just wasn't making enough time for the things that really move the needle forward. And so I was kind of stuck between doing those things that bring me joy and doing the things that make me money. Even though they're considered work, I love doing them, but it was just like, I was like stuck in between, like, damn, I just want to do the things that bring me joy and I don't want to worry about making money right now. But then when I said that out loud, I was like, well, shit, that's selfish of me, because when I'm doing those things, that means I'm helping someone else. So I was really stuck in this battle where I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to be better. I got this. And it happened a couple days in a row where I was like, no, I was just being like truly just in a very selfish mode where I just wanted to take care of my stuff and take the route that was more fun than the route that was necessary to fit in. So if you know what I'm talking about, well, then this episode is really going to pertain to you, because what I had to do was change my mindset about it all so that my sense of accomplishment and my actual accomplishment in each area was something that showed results, and in a way that I could, just really enjoy it and feel accomplished and not just busy and not just spending money or not just working. I really wanted to feel proud. And I've been in this space like multiple times. I'm sure we all have. But this is what I did, and this is what I do every time I'm in these moments where I start to really slide. So if it's ever happened to you, you get too many to-dos done, or you get so many to-dos that you want to get done that you just obsess over having to get it done, and you neglect doing those things that you need to do in order to turn a profit. Well, I'm going to show you what I did, and I'm excited for you to start doing this too, because we all need to find that good little balance throughout this holiday season and just really in our life in general. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Get out some paper and a pen, and I want you to draw a line right down the middle. What you're going to do is you're going to make a master list of everything you need to get done and want to get done for both your career, financial life, that's on one side, and then on the other side is going to be for your personal life. Whether these things need to get done today, they need to get done this week, this month, this year, just write it down. I want you to just brain dump totally on this paper. I would suggest getting a notebook so you can have an ongoing list, because that's what happens is we never get everything done. We just keep adding to it. So make sure you have a nice master list. Okay, so now once you get all this done, you're going to condense it down to another list one more time. And what this is going to be is this is going to be your daily to-do list. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick the top 2 things from your career financial list that will make the biggest difference right now. Not the things that will make the biggest difference in a month. What will make the biggest difference if you complete it right now? And you're going to pick only one thing from your personal list that will also make the biggest difference right now. I say 2 from the career and 1 from the personal, because for most people, sense of security, financial security, is a lot more impactful on their life, short-term and long-term, than a personal thing is. Those personal things, they'll get done. The financial stuff, it has to get done, right? Yes. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to map out our day, and we're going to see where these 3 tasks are going to fit in. So we're going to take out your calendar. Hopefully you have one. I suggest having a calendar. Oh, we got nice buzzes going off. I suggest having a calendar where you can see your full month at a glance, and then also have a smaller calendar. I have a really cool calendar that shows both. It shows a daily and throughout, like a daily, a weekly, and a monthly. That's my personal favorite because I like to see the big picture and then the overall week, and then the small picture, which is each day. So that's the way that I like to do it, and I really suggest you doing the same, because then you can really see where you can fit stuff in, what has to go, what you need to get taken care of, and where you can account for certain things, push back, push forward, things like that. So what I want you to do is block out all the things you do on a typical day. And this is going to sound very monotonous. I get it. Like, why do I need to block out where I shower and where I eat and where I go to work? Well, when you do that, then you can actually see where you have time. Because if you're like, okay, well, I know that I shower at 7 in the morning. Okay, well, do you procrastinate? Do you ever run late? Well, it's because you didn't stay on your time schedule. So if you can just get that in there, okay, shower and get ready from 7 to 8:30, which includes eating. And then maybe there's drive time to go to work, or, maybe it's a commute to Starbucks if you're working out of an office away from home. That's a quote unquote office, Starbucks. Or mine is Whole Foods. Okay, so account for those things. Account for the gym. Account for time with your family. Account for events you have to go to. Maybe there is a networking event, a holiday party, stuff like that. This is why you need that big calendar, because any large events that you have, maybe your kid has a game or concert or something like that, you need to know where those are at so that you can schedule in and not just think every single day is going to be the same, because it's not. It's always changing. We have our weekdays, our work days, and our quote unquote weekends. Some of us take weekend days on a different day. So we need to know where that is and where it stands. So again, we can see the full picture and map things out accurately. Okay, so from here, you've taken this aerial view of your month and you want to work your way backwards. What days are you going to be, short on time? Where do you have to cut something out? For example, if you know that you have an event all day on one of the weeks, well, you probably can't work out that day. So you need to make sure that your workouts that you have agreed to with yourself are scheduled in on those days. Same thing with your business. If you're an entrepreneur and you're building your own business, well, if you have something scheduled in on all day and you can't take advantage of that day, well, you need to know that you need to work extra on another day or spread out those hours over the course of the week around it. It's really being very aware that you might think you have the extra time to be like, oh yeah, I can tackle that. I can run to the store. And then you look at the overall picture and you're like, oh wait, no, I can't. I need to ask for help, or I need to push that thing or this thing to another day. So this really is nice for helping you say yes and no to things. And what it also does is it sets you up for success. It helps you stick to your goals, and really it allows you to not be a total yes man. That's one of my biggest things. And when you're not a yes man to everything, you really lower stress. I kid you not. It works. Okay, so then next, after you finish setting up your core pieces of your day and your week, it's time to schedule in the day ahead with the time that's left over. And so now we're going to take those top 3 things that you need to do that will make the biggest difference, and we're going to schedule them in. So my recommendation is to schedule in the hardest thing first, and to do it at a time during the day when you're most motivated and productive towards this thing. So most people, actually, let me say that one again. Okay. Most people are more productive, creative, and motivated in the first half of the day. That is what most people are. Some people are more motivated at night. So to schedule in the hardest number one thing, and if you're more motivated at night, well, then you put it in at night. You put it in at the time that it's going to work for you, and maybe you put your other 2 things above it. But for most people, it's the opposite. It's switched. So put in that number one thing you need to get done and get it done. Once you get that thing done for your career financial, this was in your number one thing, you go to career financial, number 2 thing, get it done. Just get it done. And do not get anything else done when you're working in that time block, right? You set aside the time for this. Number 1 thing and number 2 thing that will make the biggest difference right now. Remember, we're going for a sense of accomplishment, and we're going for less stress, and we're going for more time, we're going for more money, we're going for more enjoyment in life. So just remember, even though you might not want to do it when you're in the moment, when you're done with it, you're going to be so happy, because then you can give that extra time that you spent not in overwhelm and distraction and whatnot. And you can give it to the things that you want to give it to. Okay, so let's say you've finished all your things. What do you do with the time left over if you have any? Well, first and foremost, I would actually recommend you to plan for the following day with that same method. Pick out your top 3 things that will make the biggest difference right now. Schedule it in. Get your core pieces set up before you take on fun time or, time for just to relax and whatnot. You'll really, really, really enjoy that a lot more. One thing I will say, though, that is really important. So let's say you just grinded for 3 hours, right? Or, you're a 90-minute block. And I do not recommend you just getting up and moving straight to the next thing. I recommend maybe a 15-minute break. Maybe you need to make some food. Maybe you need to go for a walk. Maybe you need to do a little something to get, have that little time break in between. So I'm not asking you to be sitting on your butt working and not take a break and your shoulders hurt and your back hurts and everything hurts and you're hungry and you're thirsty. That's not what I'm saying at all, because that's miserable and you'll hate it. But if you can work in a 90-minute chunk and then you'll take a 15 to 30-minute break, or maybe you have to go do something, go do it. But get right back into it because you scheduled in that thing. So just keep that in mind when you're scheduling it in. If you know yourself and you need a little break in between things, schedule it in that way. You know yourself better than I do. I'm just giving you examples of what could work for you. Okay, so I do have a big alert here for you. I said this word once and I'm going to say it again. Distractions. They're going to happen and no one can stop you from tackling them besides you. So when you see distractions, you can either let it distract you or you can put it on your list and save it for later. This is one of the biggest things that cause overwhelm for all of us. We let distractions take up our time. We didn't schedule it in and all of a sudden it becomes this huge priority when it was never a priority, right? And what does that do? That causes us to get pissed off at ourselves, to get maybe irritated at other people, to be, create overwhelm, anxiety, stress. I think I've said that 1,000 times already, and not moving the dial forward. And you just feel unaccomplished. You're like, well, where the hell did my time go? Well, it probably went to the distractions. So distractions, as hard as they are to avoid, just trust me on this one. Push it to the side, get to it later. Don't look at your phone if you're trying to do something that doesn't involve text messaging. Like, pick and choose your battles. Text messaging all the time, scrolling on social media all the time, answering any phone call is not something that you need to tackle. Those are called distractions, and they have a time slot. I sound so Nazi, but trust me, you could take emergencies. You're really not going to enjoy looking back on your life. And that is the last thing I think any of us want, is to look back on our life and be like, well, I probably could have been more social and done more things that mattered, instead of working my face off so hard and being distracted so much that I didn't do the things that I really wanted to do, which is why I was working so hard so I could do those things. Well, you know what? If you want to have a great social life, you have to start scheduling it in now and not wait until you achieve this thing, you get to this thing, because a lot of times you're not going to get to that thing and life is going to pass you by. So what I'm also saying is, don't be a social butterfly and go out all the time. That's not going to work. You do have to make sure you put your blinders up, work in seasons, work in time blocks. But you also need to make sure that you're social, making memories. Networking with people too is a really big thing, because you never know who's out there who can help you. So being social is super important for so many reasons. And if you're an entrepreneur, you need customers. You have to have customers. And if you're not out meeting people, if you're not interacting, and if you're not being truly authentic and you're just out there to try to quote unquote sell, you're not going to find what you're looking for. I promise you that one. So it's really important to make sure that you are social, you are having fun, you are understanding yourself, you know your limits, and you're making memories that matter with the people that matter the most to you. And in regards to that, like I said, schedule it in, but it's not going to be something that you're like, okay, I'm going out with Jenny on Monday and Valerie on Tuesday. Oh, I might have plans with Valerie on Tuesday, actually. And Mary on Thursday. And then Jenny and Billy on Saturday. Like, it's not going to be an everyday thing. You have to also learn how to say no and tell them, you know what, this week doesn't work for me, but how about this day? So there's going to be things that you want to do that you can't do, and it's okay to say no. I know you want to do it all. I do too, but we can't. And, don't do it out of thinking that we're going to upset someone and then we'll make them happy by showing up. People understand. They just care about themselves more than anything. So it's okay if you say no. It's not going to hurt their feelings. And they'll totally understand if you can't make it. And so just be very firm in your yeses and your nos and know your boundaries when it comes to your social life. Then the next thing we have to make sure that we are aware of wants versus needs. I love my wants. There are so many things that I want to do. But you know what fills me up even more? It's taking care of my needs. And I think that holds true for most people. So again, you have your master list. Put all those things you want to do and all those things you need to do. Put it on that list. And I know you want to get on that website and read that paper or research that new product or whatever it is, or check out that new social media platform. I know you want to do it, but is it the right thing that you should be doing? Do you need to do it? Is it going to save you time? Is it going to make you more money? Is it going to move your life forward and create better relationships? If you can't answer yes to all those, just put it on that list, because you might find out in a week or 2 weeks that fire and urgency you had to do it, it's faded, and it's faded quick. So just pay attention to wants versus needs. And again, I know I said this, but I'm going to say it again because it's super important. I know you want to do it all, and you want to do it all right now. But spoiler alert, you can't. I can't. If we had clones, we could. They haven't figured that out yet. But when they do, then I'll re-record this podcast and I'll have a whole new message for us. But in the meantime, we definitely have to learn how to say no to all the invites that we get, to all the things we want to do, and saying no to ourselves in certain situations. So saying no to ourselves means saying no to those distractions. All right. So one thing that I also want you to make sure that you're reminding yourself of, I'm giving you guys a whole list of things here, so hopefully you're taking notes, is that you have to remind yourself that your to-dos do not make you money. It makes you feel accomplished, and it's usually a lot of busy work, and you can usually push it off to another day. And to find the balance between the two. Find the balance between work and play, between making money, pleasure, and memories. And then you will lower your stress. And then you will be able to walk around with more of a sense of ease about you, with the ability to just produce, to get results, to have people ask you like, wow, how the hell do you do it all? You seem to get so much done. And you can just say, you know what, I kind of do. It's not always easy, but I figured out a way how to do it. And then the last thing that you have to remind yourself of is that work-life balance isn't actually a perfect 50-50 balance. What a lot of people don't say about work-life balance is that if you think of a wheel, there's different segments in your life. There's the work life, the financial part, the personal life, the relationships, the health, all that stuff. And one side of it, parts of it are going to be more heavier than the others. But it's making sure that you don't neglect all of them and only put all your energy into one of them. That's what work-life balance is really about, is just weighing out what you can handle in certain areas, but not putting all your weights, actually, let's just call it eggs, and not put all your eggs into one basket. It's really finding a little juggle between those areas and making it work in a way that you can sustain until it's time to rebalance the scale. So just make sure when you're doing that work-life balance thing that, you have to make sure you're getting, that sense of accomplishment, that you are producing results, that you're creating happiness, and you're doing it in a way that creates the least amount of stress. Yeah, I feel less stressed just having this conversation with you guys. All right, so hopefully those takeaways that I gave you guys, that action step to take of mapping everything out, making that master list, and then those just reminders to give yourself. It's a lot there that I just gave you guys, but maybe listen to this episode a few times and really understand what I'm getting at when it comes to mapping it out, really being strict with your time, like blocking it in like it's a doctor's appointment, and knowing that when you're in your work phase, you're in your work phase, but finding that balance between it all is so important, and you can't feel bad about it. I know that there's some entrepreneurs out there who feel really guilty about working not hard enough and feel really guilty about going and doing something fun because maybe they didn't get enough done. But, it always stems back to when I show up at the end of my life, how do I want to feel? How do I want to look? What memories do I want to have? And I can always say these same things. I can always say, well, I want to make sure I make enough money so that I can do all the things that I want to do, so that I can provide more to my loved ones. And I want to make sure that I have amazing memories. I want to make sure that I wasn't just a human doing, that I was a human being. I want to make sure that I feel love on a daily basis, that I can give love and I can tell someone that I love them. I want to make sure that I laugh, and I want to make sure that I create something that I'm proud of. Those are the top things that I always think about whenever I do these self-analyzations of am I going to feel regretful by doing this thing? So with that being said, man, I thought I had all my sounds turned off. Apparently not. With that being said, that's what I got for you guys on this episode. So I really hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please let me know. Send me a DM if you're on Instagram. Tag me in your stories. Wow. What is going on? Let's call silent button. Tag me in your stories. Let me know how this resonated with you and what you get accomplished. I love you guys so much. You mean the world to me. And remember to share this episode with a friend if you got some value out of it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And until next time, much love to you.